What's going on today, Internet? I am Selfish. You are watching Retrospect, and I'll tell you what wasn't on my Retro Handset Bingo card this year was a PlayStation Portal clone. But here it is, so let's take a look. Welcome to Project X. I can only assume that the name of this device came about because they didn't know what it was going to be called when Sony was putting up the original images of what the PlayStation Portal was going to look like, and somebody wanted to beat them to the clone game. This is awfully fast for us to get a clone for a device that's set for the holidays. But we'll take a look. So here's our box. Nothing real super special. It's made in China. Surprised. Says it right there somewhere. Yep. Okay. Over here it talks about the memory and keeping this out of the hands of children. And that's it. There's a picture of the device on the back with a big X. Alright, let's see what we got here. So we got the device. Put that over there. And we got this plastic stuff. We'll just toss that on the floor, I guess. I don't know. Okay, it comes with a HDMI cable, which is nice. Mini HDMI. A Type-C cable for charging. And a paper thing. Hey, this one's kind of in English. Sweet. Good deal. And then we'll take a look at this. Well, it does look like a PlayStation Portal, sort of. It needs to have a little bit long. It needs to come down a little bit, but yeah, I mean, it's not bad. It's pretty glossy, pretty shiny. Let's take a look at the I/O first, and then we'll get into this bad boy. I looked up what systems this plays, and I'm running a memory card for it right now, so that we can load some games into it. Hopefully, if it doesn't have any. I know there's not a memory card in here. I don't think. Yeah, there's no memory card in here. Okay, let's go over to the I/O. So we have a power button. We have our volume up and down. We have a Type-C port for charging. We have a USB micro port, which I don't know why that's on here, unless that's for a controller. We have our HDMI mini, and we have our memory card hole. We have shoulder buttons that are clicky. They don't have really any travel. I don't know. It's going to be really hard for you guys to see this thing with how glossy this thing is, but not a lot of travel here. Pretty much instant. All right. And well, since we're on the back, we'll take a look. So it's reminding us of where it's made. It has stereo speakers. And that's about it back here. And a lot of gloss. I guarantee this is going to get full of handprints. It's already starting to get full of handprints. All right. And then we got nothing else anywhere else except for the front. Cool. So we have our start and select button. We have our D-pad. The buttons are getting stuck. This button, I wonder if they all do. The D-pad's actually kind of not sitting on the membrane correctly, I don't think. We'll find out when we play with it. We have our face buttons. We have our joysticks, which have L3 and R3. And that's about it for this bad boy. There's no home or back button on this thing. We'll fire her up and we'll see what we got. We'll run through a couple games. This is going to be a quick first look video. Somewhere in here, I'm going to throw the specs up here on the screen for you so you guys can take a look at those while I'm going through this, because I'm not about to read them to you. The important things are that it has an ATM 7051 quad-core processor with 2 gigs of RAM. So this thing should be pretty snappy. Wow, that's loud. Let's turn that down. 40 volumes. Holy cow. And then I will play with it some more when we get out there. Now, I think that what we need to do naturally is go to PlayStation and see what it's got. Well, you know what? We'll start off with something out of this Capcom collection here real quick. Okay, let's make that beep go away. Okay, in some menus, A is select, and in other menus, B is select. That is confusing. Now we can find out if this thing has Wi-Fi. Oh, I can already tell you it doesn't, because it would be on this main menu. Only one ketone option. Usually they give you a bunch of options for these. Now we're cooking with fire. So I'm just going to run through a couple games here and just kind of see what it's got. Joysticks are a little loose, kind of like touchy loose. Your fingers get stuck between them. Okay, well, I mean, it could be worse. I've definitely reviewed worse. We'll go try another game. It was obvious that this was going to work. You can play that game on a TI-86 calculator. Let's go to a different system here. We'll go, what's going to be a little bit harder? A little Mega Drive? I don't know if you can hear that, but it sounds like it's sped up a little bit. Like they sped up the processor, or the game itself. It just seems like the FPS is running a little fast. It's either that, it's just really loose. Yeah, this D-pad's not going to be a whole lot of fun. Alright, so we know Mega Drive works. Alright, let's go on to the next one. I don't want to waste your time while I sit here and play video games and you guys have to watch me. None of these are regular games. For the most part, the games in Game Boy Advance are board games. Why is that, I wonder? I was going to play like Crash Bandicoot or something, but I haven't seen that pop up yet. I've run into this issue with this similar operating system lately where Crash Bandicoot ends up being the Tasmanian Devil game, and I wanted to see if that was the same thing here, because I think they're just copying it from one manufacturer to the next. No Mario on here. Lots of people have been going to jail lately for putting Mario on these things. I think that it's finally starting to catch up. Oh, Blues Brothers. I like that game. We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes, sunglasses on, and it's dark outside. Or on a mission from God. Leave me alone. I'm gonna go collect some Frisbees. I'm a huge Blues Brothers fan. Not really the video game, but the movies. It's on my top 5 for sure. It's right there next to, like, Stripes. Such a good movie. All right, let's try PS1. So this is what this thing is supposed to be, right? A PlayStation Portable. So all PlayStation games should be on here. We have one PS1 option, and this is why I made a memory card. I don't think if I was going to build one of these devices, and I could be wrong, they could prove me wrong, I wouldn't put Tekken 3 on as my PlayStation game. And this is, again, what's been on all these devices lately. So I think that everybody's just copying the same thing. But this is one of the harder games to emulate sometimes. I mean, not like the hardest. It's kind of in the middle of the road, but... Oh, yeah. It's running slow. It's doable. Let's see what these settings are. All right, so now we're in one. We can't change really anything. Let's get out of here. We're going to put this memory card in and see what happens. So I just got done loading this thing up, so we'll see. I didn't put a lot on it. I just put a couple games on it just to check it out and see. I kind of assumed that this was going to be like some of the other devices I've been doing lately, where it wasn't going to have much on there and it was going to be running the same operating system. Now here's where it gets tricky. They're all kind of picky about how their folders are, and they don't tell you how to do it. And I put the card in before, and if you put the card in before you do anything, it doesn't matter. And they don't show up in these folders either. Now this says it plays 10 plus systems, 10 already pre-installed. There's not 10 systems on here. Oh, cool. So I put 5 PS1 games on here, and 2 of them showed up. And it's definitely lacking a little Wi-Fi. It's really comfortable, kind of. I don't know. I can't use these joysticks. But the rest of it, I mean, if you're going to use the... I think it's set up correctly for, you know, if you're going to do fighting games and stuff, which seems like what it's focused on, then you're probably fine if you're just using these. Except for this D-pad's a little tricky. I think it's something you can adjust to and get used to, but it's a little tricky. This is a really shiny screen. I don't know if there's a screen cover on there or not. I didn't take one off. I'm actually kind of surprised the whole thing wasn't wrapped in plastic with how glossy it is. Just to not waste your time, we're going to try one more game here. Since only 2 of my games loaded off that memory card of the 5 that I put on there for PlayStation. Game froze. Yeah, there's nothing happening here. No, the whole thing froze. I can't even get to the menu now. Sweet. There is a massive missed opportunity in here by not putting Wi-Fi on it and giving you a browser of some sort. If they would have made this an Android device with Wi-Fi, you would have the ability to do more than the PlayStation Portal. And I don't think it would matter where your placement was in your hands or anything like that. People would buy this because you would have access. If you had access to the Play Store, you could run PS Play as well as Xbox Live and Steam and everything off this device. It does have enough power for it. But at the end of the day, it's a really neat device, and they just got it out really quick. So hopefully we'll see some improvements to this thing in the future, and we'll do some firmware updates or something, and this thing will, you know, get a little kick in the pants. I don't know, what do you think about the device? Is this something you want to pick up? You gonna wait for it? See if they make any changes to it? Let me know down in the comment section below. Also, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe, and share this video with your friends. Sharing helps the channel grow. And my wife says I'm more of a grower than a shower, so help a brother out. Share the video. Thanks for watching. This video is a prime example of why I shouldn't be allowed to film videos when I haven't slept in 48 hours. But thanks for sticking around to the end. There should be a subscribe button somewhere on the screen. I'm not sure where it's at. This is a new ending screen. But I just wanted to say thank you, and if you don't want to subscribe, that's fine. Only 1% of you do. Well, why don't you take a look at one of these other videos? Or just listen to my dog itching in the background. Have a good day. I'm out.